Right, hi everyone, welcome back to the channel SB-Bonsai. So I hope you all enjoyed the first video back on the channel, which was the repotting of the musk maple. Now I've had an idea for a new series, if you like, for the channel, which is to buy a bonsai from a garden centre, which is what most of us start off with. So many people either buy the tree themselves or they're giving it as a gift. And show them how to look after that tree and how to develop it, because I think a lot of people buy those sorts of trees and they're not in the greatest condition to begin with. They don't really know what they're doing and the tree just perishes. So I thought I'd go to the local garden centre today, which is Dobby's, if you can see behind me there. They always have bonsai trees for sale, and yeah, we'll buy one, and then this will be a long series of repotting, wiring, clip and grow, feeding, all the sorts of things that everybody needs to know to have a bonsai thrive. As I say, this is what most people start off with before they get into more high quality trees, so I thought it'd be a good series to make. I don't think there's any videos really like this out there, not that I've seen, or I just might not come across them because it's not what I'm looking for, being a little bit more advanced, if you like. So yeah, we'll go inside to Dobby's, probably get some funny looks for recording, but yeah, we'll see if we can find a decent tree for some decent money, and yeah, we'll. Right, so hopefully you can hear me now. So we're at the bonsai section in Dobby's. So this is typically the sort of trees that people start off with when they get into bonsai. So very basic, but typically wide into an S shape. Definitely nothing Yamadori like in here, but this is sort of what we're used to starting off with. So we have things like this Kimona, bit of a rock in there, which always attracts first timers into the hobby. Got all these ginseng ficus, which are very hardy trees, ficus, but we're not after any of them because I've got lots more developed stuff at home. More Carmonas with rocks. We've got a bit of a where are we here? This here with a bit of kind of deadwood on. Dead because it's not been mortared, more than likely. We've got this. Let's get this in view. Sagarisha, I think you pronounce it, which is a Chinese sweet plum. That's quite nice. That's something quite typical of what you'd start off in bonsai with, so that's a possibility. 25 quid. Yeah, let's have a look what's around the other side. See more S-shaped sort of trees there, nothing too interesting. We've got Chinese elm, Zelkova, which is always a popular first choice, but it's not the nicest of trees. That quite appealing for a newcomer though, with the rock. Bit of movement in the branches, but nothing too interesting. We've got another one there, sort of an exposed root style. Chances are those roots, a lot of them will probably have dried up and died. We've got no sort of lower branching, so I don't think we'll go for that. And that's about it for what they've got in here, really. See, one of the other things that beginners are not tricked into, but like, you can buy this Westland bonsai potting mix. It's awful, trust me. Like, I've used it when I first got into bonsai years and years ago. It's not bonsai soil, so that will obviously be covered in a later video. But yeah, so this is what we typically start off with in bonsai, before we catch the bug and end up with 70 trees like myself. So yeah, I think we'll go for that Chinese sweet plum. So yeah, I think, see, a bit of a branch structure. It's not too bad. 25 quid, but it's for the series, so hopefully it'll help a lot of you out. So yeah, I think we'll go with this. Get the little drip tray that goes with it, may as well. So yeah, we'll buy that and I'll be back. Okay, so we've bought the tree. It was £25, but because I've got a Dobby's card, I managed to get it to £22.49 or something, so a little bit of a saving there. So yeah, just on the walk back now. So first thing I noticed straight away with the tree, I've put it in a bag because I've decided to walk to the garden centre today. It's about a 10-minute walk from my house. Is that when I put it in the bag, it kind of moved in the pot. So tree's not wide in the pot. Not really a bad thing. I mean, I put a lot of trees in the pots with the soil without wiring them in, because when you expose the roots later down the line, I don't want wire marks in the trees. But the disadvantage to not wiring your trees into the pots is that, like it just showed then, was the tree can come out the pot, especially with the winds, the British weather that we've got. So that's something to bear in mind. Second thing to note, which you would have seen probably in the video, was just how dry that tree was. Now, a lot of the times at places like Dobby's, they have like a rescue sort of like clearance section, and often you'll find a lot of these bonsais that are 25-30 quid just in on those shelves for like £4, £5, £6. So I've been tempted to buy some before, maybe make a video of them, so I might do that, but there is a big risk that the tree has already passed the point of not living, basically. And the only reason that they're in that is they're looking a bit drab because they've not been watered, so they can't really sell them at full price, so they knock them down a lot. And yeah, so I might do one of those at some point if they've got some. They didn't have any then, and see if we can sort of bring that tree back to life in many years to come. It might be a really nice tree. But yeah, so just walking home, get the tree in, get it up to temperature of my house, which is probably similar to the garden centre anyway, but as we're outside, it'd be a bit colder now, although it is about 15 degrees today, so warmest day of the year so far apparently. Yeah, and the first job later on will be to actually water the tree, so we'll go through that later on. Yeah, I'll see you then. So on the walk back, there was a bit of a track that goes off. We live sort of behind a nature reserve, so it's a nice walk. So I thought I'd come off the track and just sort of have a look if there was any nice Yamadori potential and stuff like that. There's some lovely yews over there, but they're quite tall. They need a lot of work to dig out. Can't really be bothered. But I just thought I'd give you a closer look at the tree whilst we're here. So I've just propped it in this quite tall old tree, just to have a closer look while no one's about. But you can see there, you can see for a start just how dry the soil is. So that's the main issue with buying from a garden centre, and that's why you get these dried up leaves and eventually lost branches. But yeah, I just thought it'd be a good opportunity just to get a little picture of the tree in nature. Right, I'm back with the next part of the video. So it's a couple of hours later in the day now. It's about 4:20. The tree's just been sat in the kitchen for a couple of hours while I've been doing other things, but it's time to give the tree its first water. Now, I've not even checked the tree whether it needs watering, but my guess is not, because if you look at the surface of the soil, it's bone dry, and I know that these kind of bonsais from garden centres rarely ever get a drink. So first time for a drink. So you can either water your bonsai with two methods really. The first is with a watering can. So when I'm watering trees indoors, I have this little hose watering can. But with this one, I'm going to show the other method, which will be quite useful for this because I'm guessing it is bone dry, and that's to actually dunk it in water. So that's why it's going in the sink. What was I going to say? So speaking of indoor trees, no tree or plant is an indoor tree or plant. They are meant for outdoors, but because of where we live here in the UK especially, with us having colder times like winter, we can get away with growing these sort of tropical sort of trees indoors, but they are actually an outdoor tree. So although this will live indoors for now, once we've sort of missed that last frost and we start getting some warmer and brighter weather, this tree will be introduced to the outdoors where it will grow much stronger and it'll just become a healthier tree. But that'll be like a later part of the series. So for now, it's a case of you buy your first bonsai or given it as a gift. You need to find a suitable place indoors. So ideally, under a grow light, which I have some under on the windowsill up there. I haven't really got any spare, just wondering what that noise was, spare room or spare grow lights to hand, so I'm not too sure where I'm going to put this just yet. In terms of light then, a window would be best. The only problem is putting them near a window. If we've got like a cold snap, obviously the cold is going to sort of come through that window, that pane of glass, which can affect certain sensitive species of trees. So just try and find a suitable space. Like a non-suitable space would be like next to a radiator. That will just dry the leaves and the roots up, and you'll constantly be watering it. The tree just won't like it. It'll be too hot for it. So just somewhere suitable. So for example, this little ficus, sable leaf ficus, is just here on the windowsill. It's kind of getting light from the grow light and the window, and it's doing okay. So something like that would be suitable. But yeah, so I'll show you this now, what will happen when we put this in the sink. Hopefully I've got this deep enough. Right. Could probably do with being a little... See that bubbling action going on under there? At the back? That's what I was expecting. I don't know if we can see it. See there? Let me top up this water a bit more. So we're kind of covering the root base, and we'll probably see a bit more of it. I will lose a little bit of soil from doing this, but it doesn't matter, it's fine. But what that bubbling action is doing is the water is finding like dry pockets in the soil, and it's like the oxygen, like the bubbles coming out through the surface of the soil. So that's why this kind of method with these trees and this type of soil is a good way to water. You can see there's quite a bit of like soil coming off there, but it doesn't matter. We're getting close now. You can see all those like oxygen bubbles coming out there. That's where the water's found another dry spot. Right, so that's full now. It's making a mess of the sink. So this isn't usually how I water trees, but I knew that this would be a good way to water this tree. See all those oxygen bubbles coming out there? If I zoom in. So what you want to do if you water this way, you want to water, or leave it in the water, sorry, until all those bubbles stop. And then you know that the tree is actually saturated with water, and then you can just put it back on that dirty drip tray if you've got one, or just drain the water and leave it to drain a bit. And yeah, so
rainwater is always best for your bonsais, but tap water will do, especially if like you're a beginner and you're doing these indoor trees. It's tap water that you're more than likely going to be using. Well, that's absolutely fine, but we're not feeding it today, we're not trimming it, nothing. All we're going to do is water the tree and then just leave it be, really. Just monitor the tree. So every day, come back to the tree, check the soil for how wet it is. You don't want bonsai soil to be wet, which this will be after this watering, but over time it's going to dry out. You don't want it to constantly be wet, because then you're going to potentially get root rot. You just want the soil nice and just moist, just damp. So being indoors, there's a few factors that will determine how often you need to water your trees. So that's the heat, the sun, and the wind. Now, we're not going to get any wind indoors, so it's really just the heat. Like if you've got the radiators on in the winter, not so much from the sunlight, but that will come, once the tree goes outdoors anyway. So yeah, that's all you want to be doing with your tree for now. Don't want to be feeding it, because we don't know how strong this tree is. We don't want to be giving it sort of an overfeed. It's growing indoors, so it's not going to be super healthy and vigorous. So just watering it for now will be fine. So my guess would be the next part of this video will be maybe like in a few weeks' time, when I start introducing the tree to being outdoors. And that will sort of show you how to introduce it to the outdoors, because you don't just want to put it in full sun straight away. The tree really needs to be repotted this year, but I'll see how the tree sort of responds. I get to know the tree. You could leave it in the soil, but this type of bonsai soil it's awful. It's just basically compost. So the two things that you want with your bonsai soil is be able to hold some moisture and nutrients, but also having plenty of oxygen around the roots. So when you water, the water drains straight out. This type of soil doesn't do that. It will stay wet for days. So we will have a look at that. Obviously, I'll show you how to repot, what type of soil you need and everything. But yeah, so this is the beginning for this tree in our care. So yeah, we've bought it, we've watered it, we've discussed a little bit about the watering for it, what to do, where to put it. Just enjoy the tree. Don't be tempted to just start snipping away or anything like that, because if you are a complete beginner, you don't really know what you're looking for, and certain species of trees, you go clipping back, you'll lose a branch, which I've heard from a few people that have attempted to have bonsai before. They've had one, given up because it died. So this is the most important thing, is learning when and how to water. So as I say, watering can would be good, but knowing this type of soil, I know that it needs a good soak. Wanted to make sure that all the soil and the roots are saturated with water. So soaking it underwater like this, absolutely fine. And I know now, as you can see, there's no bubbles coming out, that the soil is watered. So I think that probably covers everything now for this video. As I say, just enjoy it. You could probably lose a few leaves, but don't panic. The tree's just adjusting to your environment now. You might have lower light levels, different humidity, different heat, more enclosed space at home in terms of heat than in a big garden centre. So yeah, the only other advice I would give, obviously this is a Chinese sweet plum. You can get ficus, you can get Chinese elms or zelkovas, carmona. Occasionally you will see a tree called a sarissa, or a tree of 1,000 stars. I would suggest don't buy that tree as a beginner tree. I'm on my third of those species of trees now, and the previous two have died, and the third one it's rough, but it's alive. I bought it last summer, thrived outdoors, but as soon as it came indoors, it's just a different story. So if I can't get that tree to survive, I won't be buying another Sarissa. They are notably hard to look after. So don't buy that as your first tree, because if it fails, you'll think that you've done something wrong and you've killed the tree, but it's not necessarily the case. They are a really difficult tree to look after. Any change in temperature, light, humidity, they don't like. Mine lives in the bathroom. That's the only sort of place I've got spare for it, on the bathroom windowsill. So change in temperature with the window open, the heating on, obviously the humidity after a shower, it's not doing the tree any favours. Ideal would be constant grow light under it, some humidity, and just kept warm. No, varying temperatures seems to be the trick, but I can't give it that. So if I can't get the tree to do well, like over the spring and the summer, then that'll be it. Now is not the time for me to have that species of tree. So just a word of advice is to not buy that. They're quite sort of hard to come by anyway, but they are sold as sort of beginner trees. So just some advice not to buy that. So yeah, so just water your tree, find a suitable place for it where the temperature is going to be quite consistent, and yeah, give it some light if you can, and just keep your eye on the watering. Just check it every day. If it starts to get dry, water it. You don't want the soil wet, but if you know, like, oh, it's almost dry, maybe I won't be able to get to it the next day or something, just give it a water. Watering can or like this will do. So yeah, yeah, that's the first video for this in this new beginner bonsai series. So I'll leave that there, get this edited and uploaded, and then we'll catch up in another video. Obviously, if you watch my other videos, you'll learn bonsai, but we'll catch up with this tree at a later date. Thanks for watching.